Our first activity we're going to do today is to design a space station or a research platform. So what we need to do first is brainstorm about the parts that make up a research platform in space. So the things that you need to think about are what do we need and what do you want if you're stuck out in space for 3 or 4 months. So what would be some things that we would need or that we would want? Food. That's a good one.
Climate control.
Climate control. Good. Especially since it might be very cold out in space, we need to warm things up. Sleep. Entertainment. Okay, now that we have brainstormed and talked about some of the things that we would need and that we would want on our space station, the next thing that we're going to do is have you design your own research platform or your own space station. Each one of you will take a piece of graph paper and you're going to design and draw out the plans for your own research station. Remember to be thinking about where your crew will sleep, eat, and use the bathroom. Where will your crew work and do their research? And what communications, power, safety, and environmental control systems do you need? And you don't have to be an artist.
Good.
Just a rough sketch will do.
Jimmy, do we know how NASA actually designed the International Space Station? Did they brainstorm like this?
Yes, and they used several different countries. Different countries were involved in a brainstorming activity where they decided what they needed and what each country would have to provide. And
okay.
for the next portion of this activity, you're going to work together in groups, and what we want you to do is take the individual plan that you've worked on, discuss it with your group, and then come up with some sort of compromise and develop a floor plan that all of you agree on. We want you to use the chart paper, but also as a technology infusion, you could use some sort of drawing program on a computer and have your groups do that as well in the classroom. Then make sure that someone from the group is ready to explain your blueprint to the entire class and explain the various functions of each part and why it was designed in that particular way. So y'all get started. We just want to free-form or...
Well, one thing I think would be nice is we had a couple of larger rooms rather than several small rooms.
All right.
So we could just take your design here and just make a couple of these extensions.
And combine them together?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Got a docking station for supplies and space shuttles.
Mm-hmm.
There's a kitchen.
It's going to have to be off of the, well, presumably near the personal area, the viewing room and private area. Tell you what, this is not as easy as it would seem.
No.
There are a lot of challenges.
A lot of challenges. That's right.
Take the markers and start actually filling it in with the markers.
You want all these little rooms in blue too?
Let's do it that way, yeah.
It's now time for us to take a representative from each of the groups, have them come up and explain the floor plan that they've come up with themselves. So I'm going to turn it over to Lewis and let him talk about the floor plan from his group.
Our design for the space station started with the idea to have a central hub with the communications and computer center in the middle, a place for everybody to get together for business-related activities. Then on the top we have a large wing that has the kitchen, food center, exercise and entertainment, kind of a place for informal gatherings, once again big enough for everybody to be.
The third level was the professional work. We're going into outer space for special needs. We defined them for meteorology, studying the weather patterns on the Earth, medical needs. We hear often of the research done for personal health, and then industrial needs, manufacturing techniques, which enable, we're able to do things in outer space that the gravity system on the Earth prevents us from doing.
Jimmy, the groups did a great job with their designs. It's interesting, no matter how many times we do this, the groups are assigned one problem, but yet we get different approaches to that solution.
That's right, Jimmy. And as I was walking around the groups and noticing their teamwork and collaboration, it was just really exciting to see how well they work together, and to know that this is the kind of things we want middle school students involved in.
What we're going to do now is show you some websites. One of the websites is where you can go up and actually take a virtual tour of the space station and go through the different modules. You can also download some files where you can have students actually build a space station. And then there's also a flyby where you can actually see the outside of the space station, sort of a simulation sort of movie video clip.